The title of this lesson is The Sociological Components of Religion. As we learned in a previous lesson, religion and magic overlap a little bit. Magic, like religion, is super empirical. That is, scientific proof is not required. We don't know how it works, but we have faith it does. It's all abracadabra. Well, the reason for mentioning this is that in fact, there are still vestiges of magic in agriculture, not only water witching, but also animal breeding based on the horoscope, or planting potatoes and other root crops based on when there's a new moon, or planting grain crops in the light of the full moon. In any case, the point here is that as we have made a transition from being agricultural and rural to urban and industrial, these pre-industrial vestiges that we call agricultural magic have largely gone away, although there are still people who follow these particular patterns because they believe they work. And so let's look at, again, why religion and magic are different. And it boils down to this. Religion is a comprehensive and complex belief system, even if it's super empirical like magic. You see, we enjoy the Harry Potter movies and the Harry Potter books greatly because it was a complete and comprehensive world that the author and the director of the movies produced for entertainment purposes. And so we really got involved with it and followed it as if it was almost real life, but we know it isn't. Religion, on the other hand, is part of our everyday lives. So let's define religion as this. Religious beliefs represent some of the most fundamental beliefs held by members of society because they are beliefs about God or gods, depending upon the religious system, creation, salvation, what's right, what's wrong, what is good, what is evil. Keep in mind that religion is a sociological universal, as was stratification, that is inequality, and the family. And what we mean by a sociological universal is very simple. What we mean is that throughout all of human history, every society has had some kind of expression of religion, as it has had inequality, and it has had what we call a family. And so religion, sociologically speaking, has three basic elements or components. Here they are. First, you need beliefs. You need basic beliefs about good, bad, evil, what's right, what's wrong. And of course, what is God? What is salvation? Where did we come from? Where will we go when we die? We put these beliefs into practices. We have religious norms about how we should behave according to the beliefs we have. And we have sanctions, that is, rewards and punishments, because that's what sanctions can be defined as, that help people practice these on a regular or consistent basis. And then finally, for something to be a religion sociologically, it must have a moral community. That is a church group, a group of people who share the same beliefs and the same practices. And when you have that, we can see how the Islamic faith, the Hindu faith, the Buddhist faith, the Christian faith, and the variations within it, such as within the Christian faith, Lutheran, Baptist, Catholic, Mormon, etc., all of these have similar beliefs, similar practices, and moral communities, and each of them is distinguishable from all of the others. Now, please recall in the lessons on sociological theory, that theory is a view about how things work, and one of those theories was called functionalism. And it started with the basic assumption that all groups have functions. And functions, of course, are consequences. That is what a group does. Well, religion has consequences, as does, of course, the family and inequality. And here are the functions of religion. First, one function of religion is to provide basic meaning and purpose and emotional comfort to people. Followed by, it is a form of social control through socialization. That is, people are raised in religions to believe something's right and wrong, and they behave accordingly. So religions not only provide basic meaning, religions are a form of social control. And the third thing about religion is that it provides social solidarity, participation, and cohesion within a society. We feel at home, comfortable with people who believe the same thing and practice the same thing. This solidarity, this expression of commonality, is very useful to us as we go through our lives on a day-to-day basis. Here's what you should know from this lesson. First, even though magic and religion have similarities, religion is much more comprehensive. Second, there are three elements to every religion: beliefs, practices, and a moral community or church group in which these practices and beliefs are expressed. And third, there are three basic sociological functions to religion: providing basic meaning or emotional support and comfort to individuals, social control of individuals through socialization, that is, people are raised to believe what is right and wrong and to behave accordingly, and also social solidarity and participation, that is, we belong to church groups of people who believe in the same thing and practice the same thing. Hence, we are enmeshed in networks of individuals with whom we agree.